Don't leave your house this weekend.
China tells Hollywood respect Chinese culture or get banned. They're not mincing words here.
Didn't we have this conversation the other day? Like, when will Hollywood, like, I don't remember, but I remember saying, like, China doesn't need Hollywood anymore.
Hollywood needs China.
Yeah.
Well, I have some examples to the contrary here that says a little bit different. But it says, in a rare occurrence, the Chinese Communist Party commented on the tenuous relationship between the Middle Kingdom and Hollywood. The party's propaganda department warned studio execs to respect Chinese culture and values or prepare to have their films banned from Chinese theaters.
Motion to officially change our marketing department to the propaganda department.
When I first read that, I was so backwards that I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. They just label it the propaganda department. But then I realized what they're worried about is American propaganda. It's not about their propaganda. It's about what they would consider our propaganda.
Yeah, it's sort of like the separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Like, which one are you trying to keep out of which?
So it says, as reported by Bloomberg, the Communist Party's Central Committee Publicity Department, also known as the Central Propaganda Department, released a statement through its Vice Minister, Sun Yeli. He said that we hope the equality of American films can continue to be approved upon on the basis of respecting our culture and customs and audience behaviors. We will import from whichever countries that make better films and films that are more suitable for the taste of the Chinese audiences.
It's weirdly meritocratic, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I can't say I don't respect where they're coming from, because we have this imperialist stance that we're like forcing things on them when they're like, well, actually, you could just market things better for a global audience if you want global success. And make global products.
Well, they want to both. That's where Hollywood's weird now. They want to be both globalist and make globalist productions while pushing uniquely Americanized views.
Well, really, I mean, they're trying to push Western values, or at least astroturfed Western values onto the rest of the world.
Thank you.
Artificially through media, and then
works great here. It's not working as great over there.
Yeah, and then if China has a problem with it, I have no idea whether this actually reflects the sensibilities of Chinese people.
And I also want to make a huge distinction here. The article header here says China tells Hollywood respect Chinese culture. That's not China.
Chinese government.
It's the government.
Yes,
the government is saying that, not necessarily the Chinese people.
But like, it's impossible to tell how much that actually reflects.
Hey,
what they are looking for out of movies.
I've got an idea. You could go up on there on WeChat and ask somebody.
Yeah, I can go infiltrate the WeChat conversations about the box office. I mean, maybe you can see from like what's successful in the box office in China. I know they keep certain movies out, so you never know. But
so Disney is getting like nothing released there in the last 7. So like. There hasn't been a Marvel movie released in China since 2019, since Avengers Endgame. And it seems like because they weirdly shoehorn political messaging into it. That doesn't need to be there. Like when they added the Epoch Times, that Spider-Man. Weird Easter egg into, I thought that was Doctor Strange. Oh, what did I say? Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
They added that into Doctor Strange. It's not just the woke stuff, like the social stuff about like a gay kiss in Lightyear.
The
whatever.
Epoch Times.
It's weird political stuff too that they're inserting just to be spiteful, and it's like, don't even sell it if you know that they're looking for things like that.
So here's the two examples that I will give for one argument, and then the example for the other one. So you have Joker. And you have Top Gun Maverick. Both made $1 billion without the market of China.
Stories about straight white men, by the way.
Jurassic World Dominion made a crap ton of money. I don't remember if it made over $1 billion. But it had the help of the Chinese box office release. What am I going to believe? In all fairness, what do I think Hollywood is more capable of making on a regular basis? A movie that actually has cultural merit, like Joker and Top Gun Maverick, which are very, very important to the culture right now. Or at least Joker was in 2019, and Top Gun Maverick certainly was this year. Important in the sense that they made a big impact on the people that went to see it. Or do I believe that they're going to churn out more stuff like Jurassic World Dominion? I lean towards Jurassic World Dominion. I don't think they're capable of recreating the magic of a Joker or a Top Gun Maverick on a regular basis.
And there's nothing offensive or, especially bad about Dominion.
No, I loved it.
Dominion was good.
I didn't love it. It was it was a bad movie that I had fun at. It was
whatever.
A bad movie that I had fun
It was whatever. And like people went to it because I believe there are no better options right now.
Yeah.
But like that's not something I think I said this at the time that we reviewed it. It's not going to last in the public consciousness.
Yeah. Also, it's weird that it's funny you mentioned Marvel with like the Epoch Times, because it's not just that. It's like Simu Liu is the star of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Chloe Zhao directed the Eternals. Both of them have spoke out against China, against the CCP in their past. Like Chloe Zhao did it because she, I don't remember if she escaped China, but her parents did, right? And Simu Liu's parents escaped from China to Canada. So they speak out about it, and then they wonder why the movie doesn't get released there. It was never, especially the Eternals, was never going to get released there when when a person is literally speaking out would be considered like a dissident, right? Like that's, it was never going to happen. So maybe it is more like weirdly political and less to do with.
It's kind of interesting how McCarthyism has reversed in Hollywood, where there used to be this Red Scare in Hollywood. I know there are cultural Marxists in Hollywood, but if they're trying to insert anti-CCP messaging into movies that they're selling to China, I'm picturing what does that mean?
Drunk Bob.
Do you think they're doing it to try and be like, we're going to sell to China, but somehow
is it a planned thing that they know it's going to get rejected and they want the publicity of it getting rejected for this reason?
Could be. Or like, is it like
have
they
no
think
idea.
that they can somehow sneak it past the Chinese CCP?
That's what I'm saying.
And be like, could never happen.
And be like, we'll sneak it and feed it to their population, and then there'll be an uprising, and then we'll be allowed to sell more of the movies we actually want to sell.
Drunk Bob Chapek and drunk Kevin Feige, like, what if we put like an Epoch Times logo in
and
there?
And it was the most like random tiny Easter egg part of the film that you wouldn't see on first, second, or third watch.
Nope.
But I mean, I don't know why you think you'd get that past the CCP, and then you're kind of like putting the people in China watching the movie into an awkward position. If you're like trying to force them into some kind of uprising, like. It's just a cartoonish view of the world, like globalism as a whole. If in media is like trying to unite people around something, but like what is it?
So it says, until recently, the Chinese box office was on track to become the most lucrative movie market in the world, with a reported value of $7 billion. Meaning the loss of the market impacted the overall success of Hollywood blockbusters greatly. Films such as Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Venom Let There Be Carnage, and No Time to Die struggled to reach the same financial success without the predecessors. That's funny, too, because like a lot of the people would make the argument that the reason that they weren't successful is because of ham-fisted political messaging. At least that's what they would probably say in the context of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
That's part of it.
But I don't. But the other two,
it's not
like,
everything.
I didn't see any of that really in Venom 2, nor did I see any of that really in the new James Bond movie. There's elements of it, but it's not over the top. So maybe it is just like Hollywood doesn't know how to do it without.
Well, they think they neutered James Bond a little bit.
Can I ask? Sorry, this is slightly off topic, but I know that Hollywood relies on selling to China to bolster their numbers, whether it be profit or viewership, because China has such a huge portion. You know, there were so many people in China. Having a highly watched movie in China makes it look like generally the world was more interested
Have
in
the
movie.
gross earnings of the Chinese... Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, is there a way to compensate for that? Like if China starts courting India viewers?
The from what I've been told, that they see India is that market to fill next. Less politically restrictive in some ways, yes, but less culturally restrictive than they are here or than they are in China. I don't know if that will actually happen. Is it
hard because they have like Bollywood, like India has?
They have their own market. So we have a hard time. One of the reasons they put, not Simu Liu, but they put the Kumail Nanjiani in Eternals, and there's a random Bollywood scene in that movie that makes doesn't. But it is like to court that viewership. It's absolutely to court that audience, right? And he broke my heart. Like Kumail Nanjiani broke my heart because he ended up being like a weird political, like he's one of those dudes he's an actor, but
is he the one guy they put in like every movie?
No, he was in the show Silicon Valley.
Oh.
and he was on. He hosted a very, very popular X-Files podcast called the X-Files Files that I absolutely loved, and he just ended up being a total weirdo. So, I mean, he was always a weirdo, but he became like a politically motivated, like very weird TDS type weirdo. And then you go back and listen to his old podcast, and he's absolutely just like every other comedian of the time, which is vulgar and funny. But then, of course, now you can't be vulgar and funny. He's the one who made the comments about they're no longer like he doesn't talk about toxic masculinity being bad. He talks about traditional masculinity being bad. So they're like moving the goalpost until any type of masculinity is bad. Yeah, he broke my heart.
I wonder if in some ways it's worth like, I mean, not that they'll listen to me, but like studios starting to court like different regions. Because if China like doesn't need them anymore and India has its own thing, like what about courting like South America? Like what are South American viewers interested in? Because I understand that like China has such a massive population that's easiest to release to one market, and that's sort of the model with India. I mean, I obviously would say like court viewership, like try to produce really solid viewership in like Europe or a different region to get that same effect. I'm just curious, like when are we going to give up on China? When are we going to decide that it's not worth pursuing them? I know your response to me on all these things are, but it makes money.
No, I think they're already moving that way. I think they're starting to see it as a market not viable, as proven by the fact that they're not editing their movies as much. Like China would have taken those movies if they'd been willing to make changes to them. Disney's not willing to make changes to them, which is why I think they see China as a failed market now.
Well, it looks like a PR stunt that they want more success in the Western box office from the headlines about being ousted from China. Like
it's like a virtue signal marketing ploy.
It appeals to absolutely no one.
Yep. Well, the only department worse in Hollywood than their HR departments nowadays appears to be their marketing department. So,
I mean, I just
propaganda
think
department.
If you're looking to make media that appeals
Thank you.
to people globally, it's not going to be you. At least if you want it to last, you can't unite people around just transgressing against something.
And I don't think you can do it. Like I really don't know if you can do human stories that.
No.
There's too many restrictions on too many cultures that uniquely human stories have to be unique to their region, unfortunately. So all pets, Clifford the Big Red Dog movies for every country.
No.
Teletubbies movies for every country.
I feel like Clifford the Big Red Dog in China would be a form of propaganda. Is that?
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
I feel like there is something there where they'd be like, "Oh
See?
yes, we'll take Clifford."
Not
Thank
even
you.
that is immune from propagandizing. There's no way. I sent Mary a funny picture earlier where it's like Xi Jinping on an airplane and like there's like two dots behind him on the plane. It makes him look like Mickey Mouse.
I think there's always going to be the aspect to this problem that communism is kind of an anti-human ideology, and human stories are the ones that actually appeal to people and sell well.
Yep.
So
You can't sell to mass.
unstoppable force, immovable objects.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.